Good morning. Here's your U.S. news briefing for Friday, August 21st. 8 killed in plane crash at remote Alaskan military site, Air Force says. It is unclear why the civilian contracted plane was at the radar site on Alaska's southwest coast. $200,000 worth of supplies donated to PB schools. UK borrows more than expected in July as Healey prepares for first budget. Chancellor John Healey said the government is committed to meeting our fiscal rules. Genki's new customizable controller has a big screen and adjustable buttons. After collaborating with 8-Bit Do on a gamepad 2 years ago, Genki launched the first controller the company designed from the ground up today. With an unorthodox design that positions its thumbsticks and buttons above a large 2.9-inch LCD screen, the Manta looks a lot chunkier than competing controllers. Lions unsure if injured Laporta will play Week 1. Sam Laporta's status for the Lions' regular season opener is unclear after the star tight end suffered a hip injury. The voice of Hind, Rajab's director, calls Israeli investigation into killing of Palestinian girl a smokescreen. What is needed is justice. Khalder Ben Hania, the director of Last Year and #8217's Oscar-nominated docudrama and #8220, the voice of Hind Rajab and #8221, about the killing of a 5-year-old Palestinian girl in Gaza by Israeli forces, has rejected the news that Israel is launching an investigation into Rajab and #8217's death, describing it as in #8220, a smokescreen, and #8221. On Wednesday, the Israeli military admitted that, and #8230. Alexander Wang Fall 2026 ready to wear. As Trump courts Kim, Pyongyang UPS price while Seoul fears being sidelined. Experts warn Trump's transactional approach to alliance will erode political trust. Family throws surprise birthday party at Eagles tailgate for Vietnam vet. Why the U.S. economy is ringing alarm bells. The U.S. hit a debt milestone this week, but just how worried should we be about the world's largest economy? Tesla, Uber, and Waymo all get the okay to operate thousands of robot axes in Nevada. Together, these permits would allow up to 8,000 robot axes to be deployed over the next 12 months. I hate joint practices, Eagles star Barkley says. Eagles running back Saquon Barkley said he hates back-to-back days of joint practices, adding one day is good to avoid skirmishes that regularly occur during the sessions. Woody Harrelson ready to direct another live film, compares Jason Bateman's The Cackling of the Dodos to Martin McDonagh and the Coen brothers. Almost a decade after taking on an unusually challenging directorial debut with The World and #8217's first live-streamed feature film in Lost in London, Woody Harrelson is finally ready to direct again. The GLP-1 pill era is forcing beauty to change again. GLP-1s have already upended the beauty market, creating a whole new host of skin and haircare concerns. Now, as GLP-1 pills reduce the barrier to entry, there's more beauty innovation abound. Russia imports gas as Ukrainian strikes result in shortages. Russia has begun importing fuel as Ukrainian strikes on Russian refineries and depots cause shortages. What to know about this weekend's IndyCar race on the National Mall? Why is the car race in this part of DC? Will it be streaming? Who's paying for it? How landscape gardening is being electrified. The switch to quieter electric equipment is not going as fast as some would like. AI data startup Micro One reaches $500 million gross run rate amid AI training boom. Surging demand for AI training data is driving rapid growth for the startup and its rivals. Cowboys, Saints fined $500,000 for practice brawls. The NFL has fined the Cowboys and Saints $500,000 each after multiple fights broke out between the two teams during Tuesday's joint practice. Sriram Raghavan developing new thriller in the Johnny Gadder zone for India's Matchbox Shots as Operation Safe Sagar soars on Netflix charts, exclusive. Indian author Sriram Raghavan is developing a new thriller for Matchbox Shots set in the tonal zone of his 2007 film and #8220, Johnny Gadder, and #8221, as the Mumbai production house grows its slate on the strength of the global Netflix success of War series and #8220, Operation Safe Sagar, and #8221, and #8220, Johnny Gadder and #8221, was a twist-laden neo-noir heist thriller that marked, and #8230. The Vogue Business Beauty Trend Tracker. Vogue Business brings you weekly exclusive data from Spate tracking historic growth across brands, trends, and ingredients. Stay tuned as we spotlight a different beauty category each week. 5 missing after fire in Swiss alpine town. 8 others were injured, local police say, with the cause of the fire still being investigated. Federal government thins the herds of wild horses in Colorado. U.S. officials say the ever-growing population of wild horses that roam federal lands in Colorado is depleting natural resources. But some activists say efforts to remove the horses are inhumane. Millennials have found it hard to buy homes, but things may be turning a corner. 20-somethings are much less likely to own a home than previous generations. But data suggests things may be improving. Learn what VCs actually want, from a founder who's raised $1 billion. Investors want founders who understand the financial reality of their business. Messy data, misunderstood metrics, or waiting until you're nearly out of cash to start fundraising can cost founders leverage, valuation, and even a term sheet. Brown, Hurts reunite briefly amid post-trade rift. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts caught up for a few minutes after practice Thursday, a notable development after the Patriots receiver revealed Wednesday that the former teammates had not spoken since he was traded to New England by the Eagles. Folk Horror Wolf Days, Family Drama. The first week of August win at Sarajevo Industry Awards. Emily Jagasica's Folk Horror Wolf Days and #8221, and Philip Maj's Family Drama. The first week of August won the top prizes in the Sarajevo Film Festival's CineLink Industry Days. The industry section focused on projects in different and #160 stages of development from Southeast Europe, the Middle East and North Africa. Pisces Daily Horoscope. February 19th to March 20th. Panama Canal to cut number of ships passing through due to El Niño. The crucial waterways operator says low rainfall caused by the ocean pattern had led to the decision. Amid intense backlash, people are vandalizing flock surveillance cameras. In dozens of states around the country, people are vandalizing, blocking, and taking down flock cameras. The surge in this type of activity underscores the growing resistance to this police surveillance technology. The teen entrepreneur transforming farm management. The app was designed to give farmers more time with their families by making the business more manageable. OpenAI is gaining on Anthropic with business users, new data indicates. Businesses are willing to flop back and forth as each lab releases new models, volatility that should give both companies investors pause about how sticky enterprise AI spending really is. Players pulled from fight-filled Giants Fins practice. Multiple players from Thursday's joint practice between the Dolphins and Giants were pulled for throwing punches or their physical actions during a fight-filled workout. Jacob Elordi ducks James Bond question at London world premiere of Ridley Scott's The Dog stars when asked if he's been auditioning. I'm here on holiday. Jacob Elordi was the star guest in London on Thursday night as he touched down for the world premiere of Ridley Scott and #8217's latest feature and #8220, The Dog Stars, and #8221. The actor in #8217's arrival in Leicester Square was immediately soundtracked by the noise of screams from fans, including from a group of girls leaning out of nearby window, who, and #8230. The business of Cat's Eye. As the world's first multi-ethnic, English-language group modeled on the K-pop framework, Cat's Eye has broken significant industry barriers. Their continued high-profile activities indicate their ability to adapt despite recent controversy. But can their influence be sustained? Gandhi's handwritten notes on life sold for $1.69 million at Indian auction. The collection documents key moments in Gandhi's freedom movement as well as his personal relationship with close aide. Democrats urge ICE to halt purchase of electric gloves before more innocent lives are lost. House Democrats on the Homeland Security Committee are calling for Department of Homeland Security, DHS, Secretary Markwayne Mullin to abandon plans to equip immigration agents with electric shock gloves and halt this procurement before more innocent lives are lost. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, earlier this month published a notice of their plan to stifling heat and broken toilets, TUI River cruise passengers tell of their holiday hell. Holidaymakers tell the BBC they paid for luxury breaks but faulty air conditioning left them in sweltering heat. ChatGPT can now send texts for you with new Apple Messages plugin. Ever wanted someone else to do your texting for you? ChatGPT is being offered up as an automated text scribe via a new Apple Messages integration. Donald to continue workouts as decision looms. Rams head coach Sean McVay said he anticipates more workouts from Aaron Donald before the defensive tackle decides whether to come out of retirement. The Marching Band Review, brothers from opposite worlds are united by music in a finely tuned French crowd pleaser. And #8220, the marching band and #8221, blasts through more story in its first 12 minutes than many films now manage in 2 hours. The Pit Season 3, Everything We Know. Hong Kong's Tiananmen activists guilty in national security trial. 3 activists were accused of inciting others to subvert state power under the China-introduced law. Life settlements let people cash in on their own life insurance. Here's how it works. What began as a way to help dying people pay for their final years of life has evolved into a robust and morbid financial market. That's your briefing for today. Have a great day.